What's going on, y'all? We are back in the building, and we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 17, Rebels and Outlaws, where the main focus is going to be on K.Michelle's country music, Jesus and whiskey, not to be confused with hookah and hallelujah. That would be Shamea Morton's mama single. I'm totally making who cousin hallelujah. That is diabolical, actually, now that I think about it. My. I can already see how this is about to go. Um, I am not actually feeling my best today, so work with a brother. All right. But we get back in the building. If you are in the chat right now, let us know where you're watching from. Okay, I see y'all. I see a bunch of y'all familiar faces. So happy to welcome you back on this good Monday morning. Let's get into it. Oh, tap that like button. Y'all know what to do. All right, so let's get into some rumors and speculations first about season 17. Because I had a couple of people tagging me on this post. I actually also kind of sent it around, just kind of like trying to put out some feelers and ask some questions. We're gonna again say this is rumor speculation at this point. Until I hear it officially, then it's kind of like, we're just gonna work with the fact that this is the word on the street. And there's been no validation for me as of yet from the people that I've asked. Okay. So I'm just gonna let y'all know that right off the rip. But this is what's being reported by Reality Blurb. Okay, and a couple of other different sites at this point. Okay, so I gave y'all the disclaimer on what I think. I'm going to read to you what it says, but I'm giving you the disclaimer of what I think. I got to state that and restate it because I know somebody in the comments later on. Actually, I don't even care. It gets to a point where I can only say something so many times. And if you want to read into it how you want to read into it, more power to you, babes. Okay, so what they're basically saying is that Shamea is on the outs as the network wants Nene to return. They are saying that their source told them that contracts went out 2 days ago. Now, we had heard from Jasmine Brand that the contracts had also went out too. So this piece does line up. All right, so the source insists that Bravo is interested in bringing Nene back, and she has been offered a contract to return. Okay. They say that while Shamea was not offered a contract, allegedly, but Kelli has received a contract to come back, which would be very interesting because, I mean, Kelli does have friendships with K.Michelle, and she does seem to be cool with Pinky, despite being the person that we saw on camera saying that Pinky eats the meats. Perhaps because Kelli is the standard, you know, the network recognized her value after watching Carlos King's interview with Kelli and realizing, oh, she sets the standards. So I guess maybe the standard is the reason why. Kelli, if I were you, this is what I would do expeditiously. Okay. Hear me and hear me loud and clear. If I were you, I would start a podcast called The Standard. Okay. This would be your way of getting back to the top. All right. The Standard. Talk about business, money, lifestyle, all your fabulous things, girl. All of your fashions. You know what I'm saying? And just call it The Standard with Kelli Potter and friends or something to that degree. I'm trying to help you make some money. Now, don't look at the people in this chat because I don't know what they're saying about it. But I'm telling you, I know a good idea when I concoct it. All right. Y'all might think I'm playing, but baby, that's a winner chicken dinner. Now again, why they would get rid of all this money, wealth, and potential with Shamea because of a season and a half that really wasn't the best, when she has been the person that everybody's been talking about every single week. I don't know why you would do that, but okay. There we go. Okay. They say filming is set to start in 3 weeks, and it will begin following the reunion. I listen, here's the thing. I'm gonna watch the show regardless. Okay. That's just what it is. That's what we do. We're gonna watch the show regardless. Would I like Nene to return? I would love for Nene to return. I would love nothing more than for Nene to return. But maybe what we then make Real Housewives of Atlanta is, I would say, probably more of a comedy. And I do think that Andy typically acknowledges that Real Housewives is technically a comedy, right? Sometimes a comedy, sometimes a tragedy, right? Because I have an idea of what would actually happen once you get that band of ladies back together again. I don't know that you're gonna have the drama that you're looking that people have come to look for. But I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like to a certain degree, a lot of the OG ladies are more fans of each other's and would rather get along. So unless you're gonna have them fighting with the new girls, that's pretty much what I think that you would see. But that's just me. And again, this is just coming from watching years of Housewives and seeing what happens as you kind of bring OGs back into the fold. I mean, unless the OG just could give two Fs, right? But I kind of see that just usually is the pattern, right? It's easier to fight with the new girls because the old girls have already done their fighting with each other and they don't want to do it no more. That's just how it is. I mean, it's very unlikely that you're gonna see Phaedra, Porsha, and Cynthia arguing with each other. You just not. You just not. I don't think they want to do it no more. So it's easier, for a new girl to come in and argue with the OGs, and it's easier for the OGs to argue with a new girl versus them arguing with each other. So I just don't know what you're going to see. But again, if the focus is on the comedy of it, then I'm here for it. I just want to see Nene anyway. So I told y'all I could watch Nene in the bed. Nene in the bed on her YouTube channel, to me, was peak Nene, right? I love her pillow talks. I don't know why she stopped doing that. And I mean, listen, you see, here's somebody who took that idea and ran with it. Is Bevy, okay? Bevy now has In Bed with Bevy, and she's just run with that. Nene was just having conversations with us in her bed, and we was all intrigued. I know I was. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe K.Michelle will give us some drama with Porsha or something like that. All right, so there's that. There's that rumor. Again, I have heard nothing official about this. Um, so we'll just watch things play out, right? And I'm addressing it because I was tagged in it as well. All right, let's move on. Let's move on before we get into the episode. K.Michelle is still on a tirade against Shamea's mama. It is Jesus and whiskey versus hookah and hallelujah. Okay, Jesus and whiskey versus hookah and hallelujah. So the neighborhood talk is reporting that K.Michelle is kind of going at it with Echo Does Radio when the it was asked by in the comment in as a question, where is K.Michelle's mama? What's her backstory? Because why exactly is she so comfortable speaking on somebody's mama? Okay, so let me just first things first. Let's peel back some layers on this situation. The thing with K.Michelle and Shamea's mom, I think for me, the thing that bothers me a little bit is that this is not story that was captured on the show, right? We didn't, I wish I had seen this moment. If this moment had been filmed, this would have been a completely different scenario. But because it happened off camera and then it was brought to the camera, sometimes those make the best storylines because it is up to the audience to really decide who we believe in this situation and who we think is right or wrong. I can go all the way back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 1, where there was an off camera conversation between Kyle and Camille that really led to their entire downfall, but it made for riveting television. And I think in this example, though, I have a little bit of a harder time with it, mostly because I guess I wonder at what point the mama became a problem for K.Michelle, right? I think it was one thing when K.Michelle told Shamea or told Pinky, hey, this is what happened to me in the club one night when I was partying with Shamea. Her mama and her tatas, she was praying for me, right? She was praying with me. So at that point, it was just a prayer. Okay. I want you to follow me here because this makes a difference. And it follows a pattern that annoys me just a little bit with K.Michelle. Because I would rather see these things play out than being told that they're playing out, because television is show and tell. So what happens with K.Michelle is she tells us this thing occurred with Shamea and her mom. She tells it to Pinky. Pinky relays it to everybody in the group. Everybody in the group is privy to this information at this point. So as is brought up again at Angela's event, K.Michelle does not want to talk about it because she wants to preserve her friendship with Shamea. So K.Michelle, who normally talks to Shamea every day, okay, wants to then have a conversation with Shamea in private to resolve the issue. She tells Shamea how she feels. She tells us in the confessional that it's also the candy coated clique of it all. Okay, it's not just the mama, it's the candy coated clique. So when Shamea says, I apologize, it will never happen again, that was not the end of it. Okay, that was not the end of it. That should have been the end of it. It should have put a pin in it. K.Michelle proceeds to go on and talk to Shamea, wonder why Shamea is not as open to her, wonders why, like, is their friendship okay? Decides to take Shamea out to ask her, Shamea, why did you explode on Porsha? Why did you go there with Porsha in that moment? I think that's fair. That's what a friend should do. But I'm pointing out something to you that I want you to that I question, and I'm constantly like, I don't get it. Is that during this period of time, these weeks that are going by after the apology has been made and after they're still having conversations, after even in this episode, K.Michelle is still hanging out with Shamea and Pinky. The mama thing is it's still lingering in your mind, K.Michelle. It's still lingering in your mind. Okay. So, but it's not lingering enough that you're bringing it up to her then. Okay. It's not lingering enough. But for some reason, it comes out around the same time that the mamas are now in the mix of the news, right? As we see it on the show. Okay. As we see it on the show. And I just wonder, why didn't it just come up as you were filming the season? Why didn't it come up the night that she apologized to you? Why didn't it come up after that? Why did it not come up at all until you bring it up again? Now it's another thing that happened that night, this mysterious night. Okay. So I guess my thought is, why? Why is it never that we never handle something in the moment with you and we always have to wait and piece it together later? The same thing is happening with K.Michelle and with the Blakk situation. Even in this episode today, last night, we don't get the full scope of what it is that she has against Drew with this whole situation with Blakk, other than you keep trying to put me with this man Blakk. And so it feels to me like Drew then has to go back into the archives of Black's IG to determine what is this about and why she got this thing for you, right? What is it? And I think for me, I just have a problem, not really a problem, but I have a hard time understanding the way Kay moves on the show, because I kind of feel like it comes it comes counter to how she presents that she's moving. And then on Watch What Happens Live, she tells Andy, she says, I wish that I would not have been in my head so much. And it's like, I guess I just feel like, why now are you so stuck on this mama situation? I'm not excusing Shamea's mama because, listen, Hallelujah and Henny, Miss Mama, stay out these people's business. Shamea, stop bringing your mama around your friends. Like, and I get it in your real life, that's probably fine, okay? But on this show, like, it's, girl, keep your mama to your mama, right? Have some of these things to yourself, because ultimately, it's becoming a problem for you, okay? And I said it earlier, Shamea, I feel like you are wanting true friendships from these people that you're working with on these shows. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Nene told us a long time ago, co-workers, babe, co-workers. All right, so anyway, K.Michelle says, yeah, B, my mama ain't in the club trying to form an alliance and calling people's mothers and their children out their name. Every time we hear about this story, we hear more, but I guess it's like an onion layer. K.Michelle says she's teaching Sunday school. I don't go to her mom. I was minding my business. She came to where I was to tell me to be loyal to her child. I'm not disrespectful to my elders, but if you in my face telling me BS about another mother, you obviously want my attention and opinion. Stop playing with me. Okay? My thing is, if this was the case, you should have told mama right then and there, uh-uh. It almost feels to me like K.Michelle has become more wound up about the mamas after Porsha and Shamea had an issue with the mamas. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, I just don't. I guess I'm just kind of trying to unpack why the mama thing is so big now. Maybe we will answer that at the reunion, okay? And so the comment back says, but did she call you out of your name? The same child you called a bimbo all up and down this app and says she sleeps with Africans. That's what you're mad over? Because you're way too comfortable. And I suggest you watch those B words, Miss Botch Boo. So then K.Michelle responds back. I don't know why K.Michelle is arguing with the people on social media, but hey, here we are. K.Michelle says, B. You ran your dry mouth all season. I'm giving your dusty ASS something to put in it. I didn't call a mother out her name at all. You sound stupid. I'm on a TV show where I'm sorry. I almost forgot. I cannot read this. I cannot do it justice if I don't read it in K.Michelle. You sound stupid. I'm on TV. I'm on a TV show where we talk about each other. But no mother should be involved, especially with me, because I don't know them. You can call me botched. I've saved lives proudly. But I ain't botched no more. But you still a loser who needs me to give you something to talk about all day. Ugly face ass. K.Michelle, get off the internet. Go promote this album. Girl, get off this internet. You are so wild. I gotta say this too. I love K.Michelle. I do. I proudly plays VSOP all the time. Okay, I proudly plays it. But is it me, or does she sound extra country on the song? But when she's singing it, she don't. It don't. It, she sounds like her. I want the song to sound more like K.Michelle sounds when she's actually singing, because I don't think she needs to put that extra twang on the song in order to sell it. Girl, we know you. We know you can yodel. We know you are a country girl. I'm a country boy. I like country music, and I don't think I need you to change up. And maybe it's something they did in the mix of the song, or maybe it's purposeful. I get it. I think it's a choice. I think, but stylistically, I just want to hear K.Michelle sing it the way she sang it live, because that's what we're gonna hear when you go hear her, right? So that's just like a little bit of a. It's a style preference, and honestly, it's above me. She's the country music star. She, as she states right here, is you know we are all just maybe losers who need her to give us something to talk about. I don't know. Okay. Maybe we all just maybe I'm just a loser too, who just sitting over here on the internet hoping for the best, baby. Hoping for the best. Okay. Cheers to the losers. All right. Cheers. Hallelujah and hookah. Praying for you hoes. Okay. Um, so there's that. Now what else is going on? Speaking of what else is going on, I told y'all in my review of the episode of the reunion trailer, I said, does Cynthia Bailey have a new song? And sure enough, they plays it at the beginning of this episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was not wrong. Okay. Let me tell you something. If I don't know nothing else, I know music. And I said, is this a new single by Cynthia Bailey? And for sure, we got music from Cynthia Bailey in this episode, and we also got music from K.Michelle. And I have to give it to K.Michelle. I might give her a hard time because I don't always understand the way she moves, and I'm still wondering who the monsters are that are out to get her on this show. I don't think that we have found out quite yet. But a lot of artists do not allow the networks to play their music. Okay? When you go back and you watch the WeTV and you watch the Braxtons, you will not hear Tony Braxton's music. Okay? You will not hear Tony Braxton's music. You won't. You ain't gonna hear it. But I love the fact that whether it is she's done something in her contract that protects it in a certain type of way, I love the fact that she actually sang on this. She sings throughout this season. I love the fact that she sings and she's singing live. That is huge. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize that. That is, you don't really always see that a lot. She gave them a lot, but I think it will be to her favor that she is on this show and releasing the album. Now, the title card for the episode did get the album date wrong, but I'm assuming that they meant single and not the entire album. Okay, because the album doesn't come out until October. But I'm not mad at it. Okay, I'm not mad at it. Let's get into this episode in general. And we'll just kind of go through because not everybody's story is really worth diving all the way into, but we'll dive into enough to get to us to the good stuff and Drew falling down. Okay. All right. So the episode was actually pretty nice. I like this episode. I didn't find it too triggering. to be honest with you, because sometimes I watch. You start the season and we start off really good, right? We were thrown a curveball when K.Michelle told us somebody was out to get her, midway through the early part of the season. And so we spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. Then there was Shamea Gate, which is, us trying to figure out, or at least me trying to figure out, Shamea, where are you going wrong here? And then leading up to the final outburst at the dinner in Scotland. And then, Angela of it all, trying to figure out her and the George of it all. Like, there was we've gone through a lot. And so honestly, I really wasn't looking forward to the finale because I was just kind of like, okay, please just let me just get through this. I was pleasantly surprised. But I did feel like we wrapped up things in a interesting way, really, really quickly with a lot of stories. So let's go through them. K.Michelle is preparing for her listening session. We see Drew having a party for her mom. She thanks her mom for being there for her so much. But I would have appreciated seeing more of her mom because I just feel like Drew's story felt incomplete to me in the retelling of it, from the at least from the lens of a producer. And maybe not from the lens of a producer, but from the lens of a viewer. Like her story felt so discombobulated, like disjointed. So I feel like they did the same thing to her last season. And I'm like, if we're gonna keep my girl on here, just like let's explore. But maybe she didn't give them enough to explore. I don't know. Um, she has out a new single. It's a birthday bop. Um, if you like it, put a ring on it. Um, in her title card for the end, I mean, her title card read, it's kind of tragic, like, right? Um, she's got to move out of the house. There was some stuff about the kids. I was like, oh God. Um, it sounds harsh. It does. And for the way that it ends for her, I would have appreciated seeing more of her actual life. I don't enjoy Drew in conflict as much. Um, that's just me. I enjoy Drew more in terms of seeing her actual life. I want to see her on set. Moving on. Who like? But again, maybe I might just be the loser on the internet too. I don't know. Um, Hallelujah and hookah. Um, who else? Kelli goes to see Phaedra to get some legal counsel to go to do battle with her ex-husband. We do learn in her card at the end that Kelli is able to now film with the kids. So that probably increases the likelihood that she could come back. She gives enough of those girls on the go nakeds side enough drama that I feel like she could come back. But the Kelly's drama with the ladies is never that deep, it seems. So I feel like she could be okay coming back, right? I feel like they're probably not too worried about Kelli because really a lot of them know how to put Kelli in her place, or at least they feel like she does. But Kelli is the standard, so I don't, she got to come back at this point because she is the standard. She is. She's the standard. Um, Angela has a dinner with her daughter. Oh, we got a super chat. I need that. I need that mug. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, it says it says praying for you hoes. I am hallelujah and hookah. Okay, or it might be Jesus and whiskey. It depends on the day. It depends on the day, baby. It depends on the day. Um, Angela has dinner with her family and her daughter Amari. I think we get a better picture of what Angela has actually been upset about. I think Angela, it's positioned very oddly in the beginning, and I kind of wish we had kind of combed through that storyline a little bit better. with regards to how it was presented on the show earlier this season. I get it now that Angela, I think, just wanted to be involved in the wedding process, or maybe just wanted to know that her daughter was getting married. And I think the shock of finding out about it, I think it just probably did something to her. So Angela has a conversation with Amari's wife, Valeria, who we had not seen, or at least I don't remember seeing, on the show before. And I guess this was Valeria's opportunity to apologize to Angela, because apparently Angela had not spoken to Valeria about this. So Valeria kind of apologizes. And that's that. I really think it's more Amari's place to apologize and settle that with her mom. But if Valeria felt comfortable with it, then that's fine. Moving on. Porsha has made a decision that she is going to date Sway instead of Mike. Personally, I do feel like that's the better option, as I never believed the Mike story anyway. Okay, so there's that. Also, Sway is Sway. I mean, come on. The choice is obvious in my humble opinion, but that's just me. Okay. Mostly because, again, if I felt like the Mike situation was serious, I would have, I maybe would have a different frame of reference for it. But I feel like Sway is whatever, I mean, for whatever they are at this point, I feel like she's putting in the effort. You know, I feel more invested in the two of them than I did with Porsha and Mike. Again, because he's online making it seem like he auditioned for something, or making it seem like this was like a casting call or something like that. So I can't really put that much into it, and it just ruins credibility anyway. So I'm just over it. Pinky is not filing for bankruptcy, but then we find out that she has. Don't know. Pinky and K.Michelle take the daughter, and Shamea take their daughters to some Halloween fall fest thing, and they take K.Michelle. They talk about Angela. Pinky thinks that Angela probably felt stupid, or felt foolish, I should say. I don't like the word stupid. Felt foolish after being confronted by George. Confronted, I'll use that word loosely, and Ashley. And finding out, to me, Angela, I need for you next season to not be involved in any scenario wherein we again have to question your credibility about some tea that you're bringing to the table. I just don't need to, I don't want to go through it again, to be honest with you. I need for you to sit back and chill out next season. Like, you could take a little break, because I don't want to do this again with you. Because I don't believe you no more. I like you, but I don't believe nothing that you bring into the table. So now when I'm listening to you read somebody, it kind of feels a little more hollow than it used to. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still got it. You still got it. But it has taken a little bit of the wind out of your sails to me, because now I got to question what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm just going to be for real with y'all. With Porsha, when she says like, "Oh, you slept with an married African who's a pastor who's also Phaedra's client," I don't buy it, for real. I don't. But because Porsha's likable, I'm like, okay. If y'all like it, I like it. Okay, I can't. It is what it is at this point. People can just say whatever. I think people can just say what. I think certain people on the show can just say whatever they want to say because they're likable. I mean, and that's true for real life. It really is. Somebody, this is a good lesson for life, okay? And I saw this online someplace too. And if I remember who the girl was that said it, it is more important, okay? You have to ask yourself if it's more important to be liked or to be right. Okay? 9 times out of 10, sometimes you might be fighting because you know that you're in the right, but it won't matter if you aren't liked. And that's real life. Okay? That's real life. So that's why I don't think for a lot of people, for certain people, I don't think it would matter what Porsha says or does, because she is likable and she knows it. Right? And that's not a knock against her. That's probably an asset. You want to be that person. You want to be the person where even when I'm wrong, I'm right. You want to be that person. Um, it will get you a lot further in life at times. Okay? At times. Um, so Angela, I don't want you are likable, but I don't want you to have to veer into that territory because it doesn't always work out for everyone. So I need you to reel it in right now. Okay? If you stick to the facts about people, then you are a natural wordsmith. Use that as your weapon and not running around trying to be the bone collector and find tea on so and so and so and so and so. It just gives, I don't know. You know what it felt like, the difference between like her and a Sheree? It always felt like Sheree being the bone collector, it always felt like the information landed in Sheree's lap. No, what she could now Sheree could have been scouring the internet. I don't know. But when we used to watch Sheree, now I'm reflecting back on it, it felt like people were just gravitating to her to give her information. And here she is like, well, I was just eating my lunch. And the next thing you know, they told me that you did so and so. And then she run back and tell it. You want to be that person, right? And you want it to be in the scene that somebody did that. And then you run back and tell it. That's how you do it. But all this knocking on your neighbor's door in the heat of the night, girl, no. 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 We don't need Midnight and Mess along with Hallelujah and Henny, okay, and hookah and Jesus and whiskey. We don't need Midnight and Mess from you. Okay? You leave that alone. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Because every time you get yourself wrapped up in something, it comes back to haunt you. So stop. And you ain't even got to do all this because you got story. Oh, Pinky's pregnant. Spoiler alert. Okay. In case you didn't know, there is a clip on the on the interwebs of the reunion, and Pinky announces that she's pregnant. I think we all knew this. I think it's probably the worst kept secret at this point. But just in case you have been living under a rock, she's due in December. There you go. All right. Next, Shamea meets with her surrogate. It is just my opinion, okay? But if this story about Shamea not coming back were true, it would almost be a little bit of a relief for me for her because Shamea's issues are a little bit different from some of the other ladies' issues. Shamea is in the mix of dealing with a very interesting issue of this. I don't know if she's being pressured, but I feel like she is putting herself under this pressure with this surrogate and having a boy, which I'm sure means a lot to Gerald. But it's pressure nonetheless. The telling of her story is it's such a very different story. If I were Shamea, and this is just me, I would not want to do this show. I would tell my own story on my own platform. Okay? One of the things that I liked about what Candy did with the whole Tamar situation, okay? Regardless of who's right or wrong in that situation, what Kandi did was so smart. Kandi said, I'm going to tell y'all the tea on my platform. Okay. And I think it was the Jasmine Brand who talked about this. And she made such a good point where she said, Kandi didn't go to somebody else's platform. She didn't do a major interview with like Andy or people. No, she brought the people to her platform. I had people texting me and commenting to me, well, where is it? Where is the Kandi interview? Where is it at? You was talking about it. Where is it at? And I'm like, am I employed? Am I employed by the Kandi? Am I in the Kandi coded click? You know, Kandi, where's my dollars? Okay, because I'm directing the traffic to you. You know, but this is what I'm saying, and I tell y'all all this all the time. Some of y'all don't believe me because you feel like you're not well known. And you think that because nobody knows you yet, that nobody ever will. And you're used to operating in that space. And I would wager the same thing for Shamea in a different way. Shamea has been in the Hollywood, I mean not the Hollywood, but the Atlanta wood, right? The entertainment business long enough. But I feel like she's so in that entertainment world that she's not putting on her real entrepreneur hat, even though it turned out that the rum thing ain't gonna work. And she's now into perfume, which to me is smarter. Why? You go on TikTok and you go on TikTok live and you will know why it's smarter. Okay. These people are selling fragrances out the woo-hoo on the TikTok. Oh no, listen, if I had my own fragrance, y'all would see me from 9 to 5 spraying and tooting that cologne, perfume, or whatever it is on TikTok live talking about the scent. I might want to, it might make you want to drink it. Okay, that's how much I'll be talking about it. So to me, girl, this what you want to do, because I feel like what Shamea wants is real friendships. Girl, go and be with your real friends and build your own platform and do that thing over there. I just think you will be happier. Okay? And then your mama ain't got to come to the club and tell these girls, wag her finger and tell them, I need you to be loyal to my daughter and stay away from them Jezebels. Okay? That way she ain't got to do all that, allegedly. I'm just gonna tell you what I know. That's how I feel. I feel like it would be a relief because you're telling a different type of story. Personally, okay? This is what sometimes you can see, okay? I'm gonna take somebody else as another example. Candace. Whether you loved Candace or you loathed Candace, what Candace realized was, I don't need this. I could be happier doing my thing over here. And I got my baby. Okay? There you go. Period. But that's just my thought. Okay, that's just me being that's me as a viewer watching. Because there is something that I feel like I could see happening. And I do agree with Pinky. It is almost like the light is disappearing from her eyes in doing this show. And I'm like, girl, you don't even need it. You don't. Because there's a game that comes with Housewives. And I feel like I have been trying to, as we've done these reviews, I'm like, oh, Shamea, you could have done this. If you had done this, you wouldn't have found yourself in this. And I just think, my coaching services, I got to, no, I'm tired of coaching. Girl, I'm tired of coaching. I can't do it no more. So there we go. That's my thoughts. Anyway, let's get on down to, the K.Michelle's hoedown. So all the girls gather, and K.Michelle, I think she does a wonderful job of bringing the story together. This is where K.Michelle, it becomes a huge asset to this show, because K.Michelle knows reality TV, and the way she brings the girls in and has each of the girls sing her song, that was epic. Okay. That to me was epic. That's something I felt like we've never seen on a show like this. Um, and I just thought I could watch that over and over again. And everybody got into it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I mean, and I was like, oh, Porsha. I said, come on, vocal. Come on, vocal. I mean, she had a strong vocal during that. I said, okay, okay. You might have to go into the studio and drop some beats with Cynthia and her man and Dennis and the people. I'm just saying. That's what I would do. Okay. But I like that moment so much. I might go back and watch that again when I get done. Anyway, that was nice. You know what else? So it was interesting though when she gave the mic to Drew. I don't think, I don't know, I don't think that K.Michelle was being shady. I think that because she gave the microphone to each of the girls, I mean, it could have been, and if it was shade, that was top tier. To give your op, okay, we still don't know why, the mic and say, sing my song. Here you go. I know you might not know the words, but can you sing my song to my audience on TV now? It's kind of diabolical when you think about it, but the energy behind everybody else doing it was so good. I don't know if K.Michelle is a mastermind or just a mastermind in that was masterpiece right there when you really dig into it. Okay, for me. Now, I would have preferred if K.Michelle just didn't like Drew, right? That would have made more sense to me than I just feel like she's faking phony. Cool. If you said that to me, I would get it. But the whole Blakk of it all, I don't get. We do see Blakk in this episode. He did come to Drew's thing. Drew is still giving us the same spiel that she's just they say he's just a friend. So okay, girl, like it is what it is. She was still going through her divorce, so I could also understand wanting to keep it PC until she's done. And for that, I also respect Drew because I think that she pulled a classic. When you think about it in retrospect, I think also with her being a PK, a lot more becomes understandable about how Drew navigates dating romance. I still don't oh. So the girls all sing, speaking of this. If Shamea is going to deliver this type of drama, then this to me is fine. They brought that horse over to Shamea's house. She got a fine from her HOA. Let me tell y'all something. If any of you have an HOA and you get a fine, it is going to piss you off. I don't care how much money you get. Okay? I'm going to let you know that. Now, I'm not going to sit up here on this internet and go off on my HOA. But what I will say is that when you get a notice from your HOA about something, you automatically be sitting in your mind thinking, but what about that person? What about I see, you know what I see over there? I hope when y'all sending me this notification that y'all sent it to X, Y, and Z. I ain't gonna say that I think that. Okay. I ain't gonna say if you send a notification over here, I know that snow better be cleaned up by before day 5. Okay. You gonna require the walkways to be clear, but you ain't gonna come clean the streets. I know you ain't. I don't say that. I don't say it out loud. No, I don't. So I ain't really too mad at Shamea bringing the bill for $2,000 to give it to Drew, because I don't think Shamea really expect her to pay it. But I just think somebody had to make some scene. Okay. Um. So Shamea brings her the thing, and she had photos to prove that the horse had pooped in. Listen, if you ever been around a horse, you know it is 110% likely that that horse is gonna poop around you. If you ever been around a horse, and I guarantee, if you bring a horse into the rich people neighborhood, they gonna have a problem with you. Okay, they gonna have a problem, and I guarantee you gonna get that fine. Okay, so I'll be upset too. Why is there a horse in my yard? Why? Can you even touch the horse? Can you get on? You didn't even get on the horse. Somebody got to pay up. And it's not even because I ain't got it. It's on principle. Because I know how that HOA is. Anyway, that just, you know what? I think this is probably more of a me thing than anything else. I think I need to go resolve my issues. Anyway, enough about me. But that won't about me. Okay. Lord, hookah and hallelujah. Um, that thing that pissed me off. Okay, so the end of the night comes. Angela finally brings out. Angela, it don't take this long to come out with a business, baby. It don't take that long. It is taking longer for you to get these fans than it took for Sheree to build Chateau Sheree. Why is it taking so long for these fans that I could get off of the Alibaba? Why? 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 Why is it taking so long? Why does it sound like a leaf blower? Ma'am, we could easily go online right now, find you a supplier for these fans, throw some glitter on them, and get them made. Now, here's the rub with Angela. This is where the problem could come in. Honestly, you could have paid less if you just flew to China and went and found a source yourself. And then you could have had this thing wrapped up and done in no time. All those people that Angela met with earlier this season, she ain't had to do all that. She ain't had to do all that. You ain't gotta do that to start a business and to sell a product. Not today. So I'm gonna need you to wrap that thing up. Get that fan out there. Come on now. If the people want it, go ahead and give them to them. Stop playing around. You so busy knocking on George and Patty's door. What's her name? Ashley? What you so busy knocking on their door in the heat of the night, trying to find out some tea on Shamea? Girl, you could have been to China and back and get them and got them fans and get them into the people's pockets and get them into people's purses. Okay, spend less time knocking on, just creeping over to George and Patty's house in the middle of the night, trying to get some tea on somebody, and spend more time booking them that ticket to China. Toy said I bling stuff all the time. I got several fans already iced out. Girl, send me one. I want a blinged out fan. Get your blinged out fans from Toya, y'all. Girl, put up a website. You got a website? Throw it up in the chat. Get these fans sold. Squad, y'all know what to do. Don't let me find out you got a website and I go buy one, because you're going to see it up here. All right, so we get to the moment of the evening. My God, today they do. The girls are all getting along. And there's some commentary between Drew and Angela tried to produce a little moment with Porsha and Shamea, and I feel like Porsha is a pro, okay? Portia's like, no, we're not good, but we're good here, okay? Don't. All right. Um, don't do it. Then we move on to Drew and K.Michelle, Country Michelle. And so they get into it about this whole Blakk situation. Apparently, K.Michelle is upset because Drew is trying to allegedly imply that she knows Blakk better than she claims. And Drew is like, girl, at the beginning of the season, you claimed you knew him. Like, you spoke to him like you knew him. Everybody saw that. We did see that. And then K.Michelle is like, well, I don't know him. Now, I don't know if this was something that went on behind the scenes. Again, this is what I mean by, with K.Michelle, there's a pattern of what we don't see. And I get it. You might be experiencing this behind the scenes. But if we don't see it, if the producers don't see it, they're not going to show it either. Okay? If they don't see it, they're not going to show it. So there's no evidence of this that we can see. And you've not yet produced a receipt. So without all that, I'm forced to side with Drew on this one because I don't understand it. And so Drew is like, well, girl, you claim that you don't talk to him, but I have a DM from you to him before all of this ever started. So you did know him and you were contacting him and you were speaking with him. So while you're saying that you aren't and you're saying that I'm trying to make it seem like you are, you actually were in contact with him before all of the stuff that you actually said. Now, granted, does it make a bit of a difference? No, because honestly, we don't care enough about this, and producers didn't care enough about it either to really dive too deep into this story. What was more interesting was how Drew fell. Okay? Now, Drew positions that she fell because she was pushed by K.Michelle and her people. As K.Michelle is being held back, Drew, I don't know if she's being chased out of the scene or she's trying to leave. Whatever it is, she falls Jackie Christie style. Y'all remember when Jackie Christie fell in that Angel Brinks dress? And Jackie just went down like that? That's how Drew went down. Now, if I were Drew, I gotta respect how Drew recovered. Okay? In the moment, I respect how she recovered, but I don't respect the recovery. Let's talk about it. She recovered in the moment. And she's like, I fell and what? But she gets outside and she was, I was pushed. Oh, I was pushed by her people. And Portia's like, girl, your pants long. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I was pushed down by her people as they formed a posse to push me out, and then I was a struggle, girl. If you was gonna do all that, and that's what I mean by I don't respect the recovery. Okay, she there's a little bit of a difference there. This is what I would have respected more. If you're gonna go the route that they pushed you, girl, when you fail, collapse, fall out. Okay, if you really want to make some TV, they're gonna need to call the ambulance tonight. Oh yes, I'm making a scene. You thought that this was gonna be your night? It's my night. Okay. It's my night now. I'm passed out. Actually. I'm telling you this. I am telling you, I know myself. Okay. If I'm in that moment, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. If I'm gonna take one or two approaches. The one approach is gonna be, yeah, I fail and okay, but I still got proof. Or, okay, I'm going to change the whole story. I'm going to fall out and I'm going to pass out. Okay, I'm going to collapse fully. I mean, eyes closed and everything, laid out. body like this, and I'm not moving till the ambulance come. How about that? They're gonna have to give me. They're gonna have to put the mask on me and everything. And in the scene, you're gonna see this ending of the scene is gonna be the red sirens from the ambulance, and you gonna pay for it. Production gonna pay for it. Somebody else gonna pay for it because I was pushed. Drew, if that's what you want to do, if that's how you end the season, okay, that's how you secure your spot for next season. You pass the heck out, okay? You pass all the way out. You go out with a bang. I got you. You thought that this was about your night. You thought this was about your country singing. No, now it's about me, okay? I'm telling you, Drew, you would have rocked the boat that night. You would have rocked the boat, rocked the boat. You would have rocked it. But right, panic attack, okay? No, I ain't even giving you a panic attack. I'm out. I'm out cold. Okay? Not blinking. And you an actress, girl, so you can pull it off. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all, I promise you I would have been wheeled out of down the stretcher. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. It's my night. Oh God. Whew. Can you imagine it? Y'all, I mean, I'm telling you, that would have changed you talking about a mood changer. Okay. I'll show you a mood changer. Oh, but anyway, that didn't happen. So, um, Drew tries to make an exit, but then ends up coming back so she could take some photos. I mean, you gotta love it. I did enjoy this episode. I gotta tell y'all the truth. I enjoyed it. Um, I would bring everybody back because they're actually funny when and that's why I was saying like if you want to you could direct Real Housewives of Atlanta into more of a comedy with a side of drama, and I still think that the fans would be happy. Um, I think at this point now we just want to see our favorites on the screen, and we just want to see them do fabulous and fun things and have little crazy episodes with each other. So I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. You know, I'll bring I'll bring the Jesus if you bring the whiskey. I'll bring the hallelujah if you bring the hookah. Okay. I'll bring the midnight if you bring the mess. So we'll just be recapping it next Monday night, baby. All right. With that being said, make sure you guys are tuned in, tapped in to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so. We have a good time around here. It's all fun and games for me. Make sure you like this video. If you like reality TV related content, I highly suggest that you like this video. You know what I'm saying? I like country music, I like Jesus, I like whiskey, I like hallelujah, and I like hookah. Okay. I'll take them all, me and my countryfied self. Just like K.Michelle, I could be country too. You can be country. We can be country together. All right. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.